Henry Cavill starring in a monumental sci-fi fantasy epos. The new Avengers movies are losing their most important character, and Tom Holland Spider-Man might be getting some powerful support in his next movie. All this and more now in this week's KinoCheck News. It's finally official. Amazon and Games Workshop have reached an agreement regarding the future of Warhammer 40k, and are now planning a number of films and series together with Henry Cavill right at the forefront. Engadget states that the deal will give Amazon exclusive rights and licensing to the Warhammer 40k universe. Games Workshop, on the other hand, could benefit from the greater popularity of the brand. According to Games Workshop, an elite band of scriptwriters will come together to develop exciting stories for upcoming films and series. They will be supported by superstar Henry Cavill, who, as a longtime Warhammer nerd, brings a wealth of experience to the table and will act as executive producer. It remains uncertain whether Cavill will also be involved in other upcoming projects. However, it is unlikely to fail due to the actor's interest in the topic. Although a concrete adaptation of Warhammer could still take some time, information and details are to be published as soon as possible. We are excited. Shock for all comic fans. Marvel fires Kang actor Jonathan Majors and is now planning to rename the next Avengers movie. The supervillain Kang, played by Jonathan Majors, is considered one of the most promising characters in the current MCU, and was therefore supposed to play a central role in the upcoming movies. This is now likely to be extremely difficult. Majors was on trial, being accused of assault and domestic violence. As the court found him guilty of 2 out of 4 charges, he now faces up to a year in prison. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Marvel then fired the actor as quick as possible. Fans are now asking themselves how the MCU will continue without Jonathan Majors as Kang. On the one hand, there is of course still the possibility of recasting the role. This would certainly be the easiest solution, and also be nothing new in the Marvel world. Mark Ruffalo, for example, slipped into the role of Bruce Banner after creative differences arose between the Incredible Hulk actor Edward Norton and Marvel. Don Cheadle also joined the MCU later. His role was played by Terrence Howard in the very first Iron Man film. The other option, however, would be to focus on a completely new villain who could take over from Kang. Some time ago, rumors were already circulating the internet that Marvel wanted to create Doctor Doom as a new antagonist. The internal renaming of Avengers: The Kang Dynasty to simply Avengers 5 and the hiring of Loki author Michael Waldron could be indications that Marvel wants to follow the second path. As things stand, Avengers 5 is still scheduled to be released in cinemas on May 1st, 2026. Whether the release date can really be complied due to the current situation remains questionable. New impressions of Planet of the Apes. 7 years after Planet of the Apes 3: Survival, the eagerly awaited sequel is finally arriving next year, this time focusing on the ape Noah. A series of new images promises a spectacular adventure. Director Wes Ball revealed in Empire magazine that he wanted to stage a kind of apocalypto with apes. Planet of the Apes 4 will be the start of a new trilogy and is set around 300 years after the events surrounding Caesar. This time, the young chimpanzee Noah, who has to deal with a dangerous opponent called Proximus Caesar, is the central figure of the story. In the course of this news, a series of further images and concept drawings have been released, giving us an impression of the world. Among other things, we see Noah on his horse, riding towards a ruin. Accordingly, there is a chase across a raging river in which Noah himself appears to be in danger. So, plenty of action is going to be served. The sequel is eagerly awaited, especially since the revelation that director Ball is also set to direct the newly announced live-action Zelda film. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will be hitting the cinemas on May 24th, 2024. The rumors about the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie just won't stop. According to insider Daniel Richtman, we can now expect to see 2 more major MCU characters alongside the friendly spider. Number 1 is none other than Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox. The hotshot and Spidey have already met in Spider-Man: No Way Home. There had previously been rumors that the two would fight Wilson Fisk together in Spider-Man 4. The whole thing is supposed to tie in with the new Daredevil Born Again series, where the mighty Kingpin basically declares the superheroes to be criminals. These rumors seem to be substantiated, as Daredevil, according to Richtman, plays a major role in the current draft of the script. But perhaps it won't just be these 2 superheroes. Marvel is reportedly currently considering whether Paul Rudd's Ant-Man should also join the film. After the debacle surrounding the box office flop Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, many people are wondering what the future holds for the character anyway. Besides all the magical, world-saving multiverse stories, Spider-Man 4 could be a refreshing change of pace. The relatively reliable insider Cryptic 4 Qual reports that the new adventure is set to be a kind of down-to-earth civil war. In the third Captain America film of the same name, Earth's greatest superheroes split into two camps and fought each other. It is therefore quite conceivable that one or the other of the heroes in Spider-Man 4 will be on the Kingpin's side in a dramatic battle for their home, New York City. As always, of course, caution about such rumors is advised. Even if the plans are true, a lot still can change. At the moment, not even the positions of writer, director, or lead actor have been officially confirmed. Tom Holland insists on reading a finished script first before agreeing to another Spider-Man film. In addition to his desire to take a break from acting, the 2023 strikes have also caused the development of the sequel to stall. Daniel Richtman also provided further rumors. They are about the MCU project of the Young Avengers, which has already been teased at the end of the Marvels. According to The Insider, the whole thing was initially planned as a series, but is now to be developed as a movie. Kevin Feige would therefore prefer to focus on memorable events in cinematic context in the future. In addition to Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and Hawkeye's Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, aka Stature, is also mentioned as a member of the Young Avengers. In an interview, Miss Marvel actress Iman Vellani also expressed her wish that Miles Morales and Sam Alexander should be starring in the film. Neither of them have yet appeared in a live-action Marvel series. Super Mario. As a musical, at least according to actor Jack Black, who spoke about the sequel of the popular video game adaptation in an interview. The Super Mario Bros. Film hit like a bomb, and with worldwide box office takings of over $1.3 billion, is considered one of the most successful films of 2023. So it's no wonder that the voices regarding a sequel are getting louder. These voices include actor Jack Black, who voiced Mario's iconic antagonist Bowser in the first part. In an interview with Variety, Black spoke about how he is still waiting for Universal Pictures to finally give the green light for a sequel. Black, who co-wrote the popular song Peaches, is a musician at heart as well as an actor. He said that he could well imagine Super Mario Bros. 2 as a musical. In his opinion, the sequel could take the jump into this particular genre, similar to Todd Phillips's Joker 2. We strongly assume that Bowser will play a role in the new film once again. Whether with vocal interludes or not remains uncertain. Until then, however, we're looking forward to Jack Black's appearance in Eli Roth's Borderlands film adaptation in August, where he borrows his voice to the iconic robot Claptrap. Next year, director Robert Eggers will ensure that an absolute horror icon will once again rise from the grave. Another film adaptation of Nosferatu is imminent. The first images of the cast have now been released. Originally portrayed by Max Schreck, Count Orlok, who was modeled on Bram Stoker's Dracula, celebrated his first big-screen appearance in 1922 in F.W. Murnau's silent film classic. The character has been adapted by several film producers, including Werner Herzog with Klaus Kinski in the leading role over the decades. Now, Robert Eggers will present us with his version of the iconic material. The director is regarded as one of the biggest talents in the horror genre, and is particularly good when it comes to atmosphere. Films such as The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman speak for themselves. A series of new images have now been published via Entertainment Weekly and Empire, showing us the cast of the upcoming film. Among others, we see Willem Dafoe in the role of the crazy vampire hunter, Professor Alban Eberhard von Franz, who has apparently just set an old grave on fire. Also on board, Lily Rose Depp and Nicholas Hoult, who are both in close proximity to Count Orlok, indicated by his long white fingers. This time, It star Bill Skarsgård slips into the role of the gruesome Count. Eggers' intuition for great images and an oppressive atmosphere is already made clear in the first images, which is why we are especially looking forward to the cinematic release of Nosferatu at the end of 2024. Attention streaming fans! We can expect numerous spin-offs of extremely successful series, including Wednesday, Peaky Blinders, and The X-Files. While the second season of the Netflix hit Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega, has not even been released yet, the streaming giant is already looking to expand the whole thing into a franchise. According to news portal Bloomberg, there are conversations about a series centered around Uncle Fester, played by Fred Armisen. In general, Netflix seems to be increasingly interested in expanding successful brands, rather than just focusing on new ones. For example, a series based on the Extraction films with Chris Hemsworth and 2 spin-offs for the popular series Peaky Blinders are also being discussed. One is to be set in Boston a few decades after the series, while the other will revolve around Polly, the female head of the Shelby clan. Meanwhile, Disney is working on a new X-Files series, while HBO is concentrating on further Game of Thrones variants, a sequel to Sex and the City, prequels to Dune and Stephen King's It, and so on. It seems that the prequel-sequel spin-off fever in movie theaters has finally reached the streaming platforms for good. What do you think? Are you happy to immerse deeper into the well-known series, or would you prefer new originals? Let us know in the comments. That sure was a lot of news, but if you're still craving for more, don't worry, we'll give you more. This week, we have 2 videos about upcoming sequels. One is the brutal action movie Mortal Kombat 2, and the other is the long-awaited sequel to a Disney classic. Of course, we're talking about Zootopia 2. Other than that, we are of course keen to hear your opinion. What do you think about the loss of the Avengers villain, and are you looking forward to the Warhammer projects centered around Henry Cavill? We'll see you in the comments.